There are so many different types of dungeon masters out there. We're going to talk about all of them, from the amazing to the, I don't think I really want to play with you anymore. My name is Justin Powell, and let's demystify the different types of dungeon masters. This is Demystifying D&D. The first type of dungeon master is the world builder DM. These DMs create incredible worlds filled with political maneuverings, underground societies, and religious sects with competing ideologies. Then, they hand you a 40-page document about the world and are surprised and frustrated when you don't remember the high septum of the Agari tribe's birth date. If you're a player, be sure to take good notes during these sessions, and as a DM, keep in mind, not every player is as into backstory of the world as you might be. Sometimes your players might just want to dive into the world without having to do any kind of homework.
Okay, Mr. Essay, I say, prepare to be written!
So just give the players information that their character would know in the moment. This next type of DM is quite in line with the World Builder DM, and this is the, I think you maybe want to write a book. These types of DMs tend to have really good world building as well, but can sometimes get a bit railroady in the actual gameplay. They have a great idea about what will make the most dramatic story, and rather than allowing the players to impact that story, they force the players into that direction. This is frustrating because as a player, one of the best things is being able to affect the world around you. But if your decisions seem to have no impact because the DM is wielding the story scepter, well, it's kind of not fun. If you're a player who's dealing with a DM like this, try to have a conversation with them outside of the game about player agency. Remember, always be respectful and try to approach it less as a blaming conversation and more as one where both parties get the chance to grow so that everyone can have fun. If you are this kind of DM, then remember that D&D is a collaborative storytelling game. You might think you have the best story ideas, but your players' originality and creativity will sometimes create unique paths that you couldn't even see coming. Also, maybe just start writing a book in your own time. If you've fallen in love with a world that you've created or NPCs that you've come up with, then consider formatting that into a book. Maybe that is a passion that is hiding within. The next type of DM is the enemy. This DM sees D&D as them versus the players. It is a game to be won, and they plan on winning it. These are the types of DMs that get upset when the players don't bite on their plot lines or when they kill their big bad too easily. This can get DMs cranky, so instead they'll beef up that monster on the fly to the point where they kill every single player character in the party. The real trap here is that sometimes these DMs can start fudging dice rolls to make the story that they want to make happen. I don't have a lot of advice for how to deal with this one as a player other than, again, talking with your dungeon master. Also, if you are this DM and you view the game as though it's you versus the players, take a breath. In my opinion, our job as DMs is to provide a safe, fun, and collaborative environment where players can come together to tell a story. It's always good to challenge players, but the goal of that challenge should be to see how they can overcome the challenge, not how you can crush them with it. Next type of DM is the forgetful Freds or forgetful Fridas. These DMs are not the best at keeping notes or recalling rules or remembering where you all left off. These types of DMs will often forget NPC names, have to look up the same rule over and over again, and have some major plot holes that they'll retcon by saying, yeah, there's also a dragon on the hill, sorry. If you are this type of DM, try to take 10 minutes at the end of your session to write down some notes about what happened. Write down any important NPCs the party might have met, major events that took place, and perhaps any rules that you couldn't remember in the moment that you'd like to remember off the top of the dome next time. Then, on the day of the next session, take some time to look over those notes. If you need some help on taking amazing notes for your session, check out the link below for an amazing article from roleplayingtipscom. The last type of DM to talk about today is the forever DM. These DMs have a resolute look on their face as they start games. At times, it can feel as though they're just going through the motions. And then you walk up to them and you say, "Hey, mind if I DM the next session, and you see them look at you, slowly, as tears begin to form in their eyes, and they say, "What did you say?" And you say, I said, could I DM the next session? And they begin to sob, openly, weep right in front of you, tears of joy, and you begin to wonder if maybe they might need some help. In all seriousness, as a forever DM myself, I can say that every now and then it's so incredibly nice to have a break from DMing. Don't get me wrong, I love being a DM, but sometimes you just want to play the game instead of being the dungeon master. So the best gift that you can give as a player is giving your DM that chance. Those are some different types of dungeon masters you'll meet while playing Dungeons & Dragons. There are definitely others that I didn't cover today, and if you'd like to see another video about more types of DMs, let us know in the comments. Also remember that DMs, just like players, are multifaceted, so a lot of them will contain similar attributes to different classes of DM that we talked about today. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe to our channel for more great D&D content. Also, be sure to check down below for various links to social medias where we post other tricks and tips. Thanks for watching, and remember, no guts, no story. Bye.